Welcome to today's lecture under the use of English series for JAMB UTME, episode 8. Do not forget that this lecture is focally prepared for UTME candidates 2026 and beyond. Our topic for today in this lecture is English punctuation. Do not forget to enable your landscape mode on your screen or maximize your screen by tapping on the icon located at this place that I'm hovering my mouse around in order for you to enjoy the best viewer experience. Without wasting much of our time, let's move straight to the outlines of today's lecture. Outlines. Definition: uses, types, and classes of punctuation. Practice exercises from WAEC and JAMB/answers. Quick recap on the subject. You will learn the above in this lecture, and I wish you a good luck as we progress. Punctuation is a set of marks that help make writing clear and easy to understand. What does punctuation do? Punctuation are marks, a distinctive marks, which makes writing easy, clear, smooth to read and understand. That's the function. Think of punctuation as traffic signs in writing. It's just like the traffic on the road is the person that is writing or the person that is reading, and the traffic lights you have there is the punctuation. It says stop, yellow says ready, and green says go, and all of that. That's what the punctuation does to a person that is reading. It tells you where to stop, it tells you where to smile, it tells you how to feel, it tells you what to do, it tells you where to speed up, it tells you where to increase your pace, it tells you the context, what is going on, it tells you what is meant by the expression or by statements in writing and reading. They guide the reader just like traffic lights and signs, like I just explained. Let's move over to the next slide. Uses of punctuation. Number 1, to prevent confusion during reading or writing. Yes. To separate ideas during writing. Yes. To show pause, stops, and emotion. And I am going to prove these functions under the illustration of each punctuation that we are going to treat in this lecture. Moving on to the next. Classes of punctuation signs. Number 1, we have two classes of punctuation signs. The first one is the standard writing punctuation, mostly used in formal writing. They include full stop or period. You can call it full stop or you can call it period. Comma, question mark, exclamation mark, colon, semicolon, apostrophe, quotation marks, hyphen, dash, parenthesis, or round brackets, ellipses, and so on and so forth. So just bear in mind that the standard writing punctuation marks, which includes all the examples you find on your screen, and so on and so forth. Moving on to the next. The next under the classification of punctuation is the technical writing punctuation, most commonly used in informal writing. You know what is informal writing? When you casual writing. Not only informal writing, it's also used in coding and mathematics. Okay, you use it in mathematics and in coding. You know what coding is? Programming. Computer programming, what have you. They include other signs not part of the standard writing punctuation signs. Any sign that is not part of the standard writing punctuation sign is part of the technical writing punctuation sign. Okay, so let's move over to their examples and what they are used for. Under the standard writing punctuations, let's treat each and every standard writing punctuation sign. The first here is full stop. It can also be called periods, and this is the sign. This is the sign. Just a dot. Use to end a sentence. Koi. That's where the sentence ends. Koi. Full stop. Boom. Example. She likes reading. Full stop. The sentence ends there. Koi. The second we have here is the comma. This is the what? The sign of the comma. Commas are used to separate items, add pauses, or join clauses. It's used to separate items, add pauses. That's when you are writing, you pause, comma, you continue. Or join clauses. Join independent and dependent clauses. If you have not taken my lecture on clauses, do well to take that right away for better understanding of this topic. For example, let's use comma in a sentence. I bought apples, comma, that's a pause. A pause and also listing other things. Listing orange and bananas. I bought apples, comma, pause. You also used it to pause, and we also used it to continue the listings, orange and bananas. Moving on to the next. Still under the standard writing punctuation. Question mark, this is the sign of question mark. Okay, use to end a question. To end a question. For example, where are you going? Question mark. It tells you that this is a question. Okay, it's a question contest. A question was asked. Moving on to the next, exclamation mark. This is the exclamation mark. This is the exclamation mark. Small letter I upside down is the exclamation mark. Use to show strong feelings or excitement. Use it to show strong feelings, emotional excitement. For example, watch out. Like you are showing strong feeling. You are telling the person to watch out. Like be careful. Watch out. See. Look. Let's move over to the next. Still under standard writing punctuation signs. We have the colon. Colon. Just two dots, two Vatican dots, one up, one down. That's the colon. This is the sign here. Okay. Use to introduce a list or explain something. To introduce a list or explanation. When you want to explain something, you list the thing, then you start explaining. You put a colon, then you start explaining. Or to introduce a list, when you want to list something, you put colon, then start listing. Let's see. For example, you need these items. Can you see? Colon, a pen, paper, and glue. Used to list. Use it to open the listing. Open the listing that you continue with commas. Okay, as the listing goes on. The next we have here is semicolon. This is like one dot up and a comma under, vertically inclined. Use to link two related sentences or separate complex list items. Okay, he said two related. So when things are related, you can use it to link it together. Okay, so let's look at the example. I was tired, semicolon, I went to bed early. I was tired, I went to bed early. So they are related. It was because this fellow was tired, that was why he went to bed early. Okay, that's why you use semicolon here. Okay, related sentences, you bring it together. Or to separate complex list. When the list is complex, it's too complex, or you want to introduce a smooth or an improved reading experience for the reader, you use semicolon to separate complex list item. Still under standard writing punctuation. Apostrophe. You can see the sign here. This is apostrophe. Apostrophe. Use to show possession or contractions. For example, the first which says to show possession. Its is a possession. It's telling us that it belongs to it. It belongs to it. It. The next is John's. Is telling us showing possession. It belongs to John. Book. It's John's book. It's John's book. That's the book. It's John's. Okay. Then the next example to indicate contractions. He says, I would do it in the future. This is I would. This apostrophe here used to contract the word would, or is used to contract the word would. Okay. I would do it in the future. You also use it in examples like don't, doesn't, to contract not, and so on and so forth. The next we have here is single quotation mark. Single quotation mark. Look at it here. One left, one right. One left, one right. Okay. We have two types of quotation mark. We have the single and the double. This is the single, one left, one right. The double is usually two left, two right. The use of this single quotation mark is to indicate quotes within quotations. To indicate quotes within quotations. For example, like when there is a long quotation and you want to indicate, you want to signify a quote that is inside that large quotation, or that is inside that parent quotation. You want to show the subset of quotation inside, other component quotation inside. You use this quote, this single quotation mark. Okay. For example, she said, you can see the quotation, this double quotation mark. She said this is the parent quote. Okay, from here to here is the parent quote. But let's start now is the subset of quotes in the parent quote. So if you want to introduce or you want to indicate this subset of quote or this component quote in the parent quote, you use the single quotation mark. Okay, so she said, let's start now. Forget about the limitations. Let's move on to the next. Still under standard writing punctuation signs. The next we have here is double quotation mark. Is what? Double. Okay, this is the sign. Use to show speech or quotation. Okay, to show parent quotation. Okay, full quotation. She said, let's start now. Quote. Let's start now in quotes. The next we have here is hyphen. This is the word, the sign of hyphen. Okay, hyphen is a thick dash. Okay, that's how you differentiate it from small dash. It's a thick dash. You differentiate it from M dash because it's a thick dash. Used to join words or part of words. For example, a well-known author. You can see how the hyphen joined well and known together. So when you are writing, especially when you are writing with pen, when you write to this edge and you have to continue a word, you also use hyphen to indicate that this place should be joined with this place. Okay, this place should be joined with this. That's this side is the continuation of this side. Next, still under the standard writing punctuation signs, the next we have here is M dash. M dash, that's EM dash. M dash, this is the M dash. Okay, remember how I told you how to differentiate it from hyphen. M dash is longer and is lighter than hyphen. Okay, we have M dash here and we also have N dash. Then the N dash is longer and is longer than all of them. It's longer than M dash. That's the key difference between the M dash and the N dash. N dash, N is longer than M. What's the use? M dash is used to add extra information or join words. To add extra information. The smaller one is used to add extra information or to join a word. You can use it to join a word or add extra information. For example, the cat purred. Can you see the dash here? The M dash. Walked calmly, then ran away. The cat purred, walked calmly, then ran away. This gives us more information. It says the cat purred, giving us more information about the statement. Walked calmly, then ran away. Giving us more information about what happened when the cat purred. Okay, let's look at the next. N dash. N dash is used to pause. It's used for a short pause, just to inform the reader that the reader is supposed to have a short pause there at that point. Okay, let's look at the example. She was late, dash again. So let's read this like a pro. She was late again. She was late again. She was late again. Hope you figured out where I had that short pause. She was late again. On to the next. Still under the standard writing punctuation. The next we have here is parenthesis or round brackets. Okay, this is the sign of the parenthesis or round bracket. What is it used for? To add extra or optional information. Extra or optional information. Optional. You can decide to look at the information, or you might as well decide not to see the information. That's what it means by optional information. For example, he arrived late as usual. The person has passed this message. He arrived late. Whether you want to read as usual or not is optional. It's also used to add extra information. Okay, it's also used for clarity. Okay, clarity reason. When you put something in brackets, it makes it clear. Okay, it separates it and makes it clear. That's why numbers are placed in brackets during writing, for clarity, to avoid confusion. Okay, the next we have here is ellipses. Ellipses, which is these 3 dots. 1, 2, 3 dots. What is it used for? Used to show a pause or omission. For example, well, I'm not sure. Is used to show what? A pause or omission. Well, I'm not sure. It was used for a pause in this sentence here. To use it for omission is when you are writing and just put 3 dots, boom, 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 to tell the reader or to inform the reader that there was some other additional text that is supposed to be there, but you don't want to put it, or you can't put it. Or it's just like saying and so on, etc, 3 dots and so on, additional text there, something was removed. So anytime you use this thing, if you are not using it for pause, you are using it for omission, to indicate that something was omitted from that part of the text. We are done with the standard writing punctuation signs. Let's move over to the next, which is the technical punctuation signs. Let's see the technical punctuation signs next. Moving on. Technical punctuation signs, they include, the first we have here in the list is square brackets. What is it used for? To add or clarify in quotes. To add or clarify in quotes. For example, see appendix A, see appendix A, to clarify. Okay, for clarity reason, they just put it inside this kind of brackets for clarity reason. Okay, brace bracket is another one we are having here. This bracket is called a brace bracket. Okay, or curly bracket. You can call it a brace bracket, or you can also call it a curly bracket. What is it used for? In maths, it's also used in coding or groupings. For example, SYZ. If you are familiar with the topic in mathematics called set, this kind of bracket is very common in set. Okay, moving on to the next. Still under the technical punctuation signs, forward slash. This is the forward slash. This is the sign. What is it used for? Forward slash shows alternative or fractions. For example, pass slash fail is telling you that there is pass, there is also fail. That's what it means, showing alternative, either pass or fail. For the second example here, fraction is also used to indicate fraction, especially in mathematics. Okay, 9/10. Okay, that's a proper fraction. Okay, moving on to the next, backslash. This is the backslash. What is it used for? This is the sign. This is the sign. What is it used for? It's mainly used in computing. For example, C semicolon backslash Windows. Very common in computer. And when you go to your window, especially your files, you easily see this there. Okay, and those that are into coding and all of that. Moving on to the next, still under the technical punctuation signs, the next we have is asterisk. This is the sign of asterisk. Use. What is it used for? For footnotes or emphasis. When you are laying emphasis, you are drawing attention to a particular word or a particular portion in a text, you use asterisk. For example, terms apply. It's drawing your attention that terms really apply. You should be aware. Something you should be aware of. Very important note. They want you to see it. That's why they use asterisk sign. Next in the example is ampersand. Ampersand, which is this. Okay, this is the sign of ampersand. It also means and. This sign means and. What is it used for? Informal or names. For example, beans and bread. Beans and bread. But you don't use this in formal writing. You can use it in casual, informal writing, programming, and all of that. But do not use it in formal writing. Okay. Moving over to the next. Still under the technical punctuation signs. The next we have is hash or number sign. You call this hash, or you can also call it number sign. Use tags or numbers. Use it for hashtag, tag, hash. Then you put on the tag. Or numbers. Use it to indicate number. When you say, what is your hash? Your number. For example, hash Monday. That you are tagging Monday. When you say hash 1, you are saying number 1. Okay. The next we have here is @ symbol, which is this. This is commonly used in the internet, especially emails, and in computer language, coding and programming. Use for email or mentions. When you want to mention, especially on social media, online, you use this @ to mention. For example, unkwado.augustine@instagram.com. Okay, do well to follow me on Instagram. Unkwado Augustine is my name on Instagram. Still on the topic, technical punctuation signs. The next we have here is pipe or Vatican bar. This is the sign. Pipe or Vatican bar. Use to separate items or word. You use it to separate item, but informal writing or not informal writing. Okay, informal writing or casual writing. For example, yes, no, or yes, no. You use it to separate yes and no. Yes, no. It's just like putting a bar in between two things to separate them. The next we have here is tied. Okay, tied. This is the sign of tied. And what is it used for? Means approximation or ranges. For example, you know approximation in mathematics now. Approximation, to show approximation, okay, is the approximation sign. The work was approximately 10 minutes. The work was approximately 10 minutes. Moving on to the next. The next we have here is caret. And this is the sign of a caret. What is it used for? For exponents and insertions. You know what exponents are? Exponents are squares. That's what they normally call it in school those days. Square. When you want to do square. Okay, that's where you use this caret. Okay, use it for square and insertion to tell the reader that there is something at the top right of the letter or of the item. The next we have here is underscore. This is the sign of underscore. Okay, this is the sign of underscore. What is it used for? As spaces in username/files. You use it as spaces in username/file, especially in computer language and online, social media and the internet. Okay, for example, first name, use it to space. Still under technical punctuation signs, equal sign, the one we normally call equal to. Equal sign, what is it used for? To show equality in math/programming. For example, 2 + 2 = what? 4, equal to 4. The next we have here is plus sign, which is this, just like a cross. What is it used for? In addition or inclusion, to bring two things together or to bring more than one things together. Okay, that's what addition is used for. For example, 5 plus 3 equal to 8. Plus brings 5 and 3 together to give us 8. Still under the technical punctuation signs. The next we have here is percentage. This is the sign of percentage. This is one of the signs I can never forget in my life. What is it used for? Used to show percentages. For example, she was given 100%. You are going to be given 100% in your UTME use of English in the year 2026. Claim that and work towards it. The next we have here is currency symbols. Dollar, this is the symbol of dollar. Okay. Pounds is the symbol of pounds. Euro, this is the symbol of euro. Hope you know the symbol of naira. I believe you do. And so on and so forth. With this, we have come to the end of the technical punctuation signs. Okay, let's look at some exercises. This exercise questions was brought from the JAMB UTME 2023/2024. Number 1, choose the sentence that uses punctuation correctly. It says choose the sentence that uses punctuation correctly. A, I bought apples, comma, oranges, comma, bananas, and grapes, full stop. B, I bought apples, oranges, comma, bananas, comma, and grapes, full stop. C, I bought apples, comma, oranges, comma, bananas, comma, and grapes, full stop. D, I bought apples, oranges, bananas, and grapes, full stop. What's your answer? Choose the sentence that uses punctuation correctly. You answered right. The right option is A, I bought apples, comma, oranges, comma, bananas, and grapes, full stop. Number 2 says, which punctuation mark correctly completes the sentence? Which punctuation mark correctly completes the sentence? She said she would come, dash, but she didn't show up. What punctuation sign is supposed to be in this blank space? A, comma, B, full stop, C, semicolon, D, colon. She said she would come, dash, but she didn't show up. What's your answer? You answered right. The correct option is A, comma, she said she would come, comma, but she didn't show up, full stop. Number 3, identify the sentence with the correct use of the apostrophe. Identify the sentence with the correct use of apostrophe. A, it's a beautiful day outside. B, it's a beautiful day outside. C, it's a beautiful day outside. D, it is a beautiful day outside. What's your answer? You answered right. The correct option is B, it's a beautiful day outside. These are the answers. And what did you score? Alright, let's quickly look at the recap of this lecture. Punctuation is a set of marks that help make writing clear and easy to understand. They are used to prevent confusion, separate ideas, show pauses, stops, and emotions during reading and writing. Classes of punctuations include standard writing punctuation. Do not forget that we have two, and is mostly used in formal writing. When you are writing exams, when you are writing for formal reason, okay, you use the standard writing punctuation signs. For example, full stop or period, comma, etc. Then the second class is the technical writing punctuation sign, which is mostly used in informal writing, coding, and mathematics. Like in casual writing, you use it in computer programming, coding, social media, internet, and so on and so forth. They include other signs not part of the standard writing punctuation sign. So any other signs that are not part of the standard punctuation signs as treated and discussed in the lecture are known as technical punctuation signs. Thank you so much for taking this lecture. Do not forget to subscribe and follow for more at Nkwado Augustine across all social media platforms. Do you have any questions or knowledge gap? Please do well to drop them on the comment section and I will do justice to your questions and knowledge gap. At this point, I'm out.